the beginning of the story, a 15-year-old girl named Simmi is shown. She is slightly overweight and comes to visit her Aunt Claudia to celebrate Easter, a festival celebrated by Christians. Claudia lives in a remote area and is a former nutritionist who has written several books on healthy eating, advising people on what to eat and how to take care of their health. Simmi meets Claudia and shares that she has never seen her before, so she wanted to visit. Claudia asks how long she plans to stay. Simmi says for a week, but Claudia refuses and insists she leave before Easter, as they prefer to celebrate it alone. Claudia then tells Simmi she can stay in her son's room. Later, Simmi calls her mother. Her real reason for visiting is to learn things from her aunt that might help her appear more beautiful like an average girl, as she is very self-conscious about her weight. During dinner, Claudia's son, Philip, is introduced. His father has passed away and Claudia has remarried. Simmi notices that Claudia's husband, Stefan, dislikes Philip. Claudia lovingly serves food to her son, cutting the meat into small pieces while only Philip and Simmi eat, and the adults sit quietly. That night, Simmi feels upset about her weight, which is the main reason she is here. In the room, Philip behaves rudely as he doesn't want Simmi in his space. Claudia arrives, kisses Philip goodnight, checks his phone and leaves. The next morning, Simmi takes a walk in the woods and finds a hut made of dry wood with a bag inside. She doesn't give it much thought and returns. As she enters, she notices Stefan exercising, looking very fit and youthful despite his age. Simmi later sees her aunt organizing her luggage and finds Claudia happy to discover one of her own books. Claudia asks if Simmi has read it, and Simmi replies that she has read all of them. That evening, everyone is tense because Philip goes missing. They call the police and go looking for him. Eventually, they find him in the nearby forest. Claudia is relieved. That night, Claudia offers to help Simmi lose weight. Dinner, Claudia cooks delicious food but serves only Philip. She tells Simmi that if she wants to become thin, she must not eat anything for the next 4 days. Simmi is shocked by this extreme approach but agrees. She also notices Philip always seems scared. While throwing away leftovers, Simmi feels tempted to eat but controls herself. Before bed, Claudia checks her weight and tells her this will be done daily. Claudia insists Simmi must follow her every instruction to become beautiful. Simmi promises to obey, making Claudia happy. That night, Simmi finds a dead rat on her bed, which frightens her. Claudia cleans it, but Simmi becomes too scared to sleep there. She suspects Philip, who always carries a knife, is behind it. She decides to sleep on the couch instead. While moving her bedding, Stefan tells Simmi she doesn't need to lose weight and looks fine just the way she is. His words seem comforting. Simmi ignores his words and walks away. 3 more days pass. Simmi hasn't eaten anything for the past 2 days. One morning, she watches Philip having breakfast and she also feels tempted, but she is bound by her promise to Claudia not to eat. Claudia finds a chocolate wrapper in Simmi's bag and angrily calls her into the room. She accuses Simmi of breaking their rules, even though she is only trying to help her lose weight. Simmi denies eating anything and claims Philip must have placed the wrapper there. Claudia decides to give her one more chance and warns that if another mistake happens, she won't forgive or help again. Simmi then notices that Philip is injured, and Claudia is trying to stop the blood. Seems like he's been hit near the eye. Claudia says Philip fell from the stairs, but Simmi suspects that Stefan might be abusing him. Philip also remains silent, leaving her with no answers. That night, only Philip eats dinner while Simmi watches him, as her food is still restricted. That night, Claudia gives Simmi a locket and tells her that if she feels hungry, she should kiss the locket to make the hunger disappear. Since the rat incident in the bed, Simmi no longer sleeps in the room and instead rests on the outer couch. That night, when she prepares to sleep, Claudia tells her to sleep in the room because she has work to do. Claudia is writing a book. When Simmi asks to see it, Claudia refuses, saying it contains strange things that ordinary people can't understand. Perhaps that's also why her books are no longer selling. Simmi enters the room but can't sleep due to hunger. She goes to the fridge to find food, but it's completely empty. That moment, Stefan appears and misbehaves with Simmi. Simmi, holding a knife, stabs him. Suddenly, she wakes up. It was only a dream. When she checks the fridge again, it's full of food and morning has arrived. As usual, Philip eats breakfast alone. Simmi starts questioning the situation. She wants to lose weight, which is why she avoids food, but she wonders why Claudia and her husband never eat or feel hungry. 5 days pass without Simmi eating anything. Stefan prepares to go hunting. Claudia tells him to take Philip along. Simmi also requests to join and he agrees. The three of them go hunting. Philip is not skilled but manages to shoot a rabbit. When he gets close, he sees the rabbit is still alive and struggling. Stefan hands Philip a knife and asks him to end its suffering. Philip trembles with fear and seems terrified. Simmi steps in and kills the rabbit herself. After returning home, she asks Philip why he is always scared. She wonders if his dad hits him. Philip says no, he fears his mom, not his dad. He believes she might try to harm him. Simmi defends Claudia, saying she's a good woman and would never do that. But Philip insists it's all just an act. Hearing this, Simmi becomes concerned and approaches Claudia and asks why Philip thinks so negatively about her. Hearing this, Claudia begins to cry and tells Simmi that her son has mental issues. He often runs away from home, and now even the police refuse to help because he has done it many times. Claudia believes that's why he hates her. After hearing everything, Simmi comforts her and returns to sleep in the room. As usual, Claudia comes to say goodnight to Philip. After she leaves, Philip tells Simmi that his mother hates him and will eventually kill him. Simmi no longer pays much attention to his words, thinking he might be mentally unstable. Next morning, Simmi sees Claudia burying something outside. When Claudia leaves, Simmi checks the spot and finds a doll and a photo of Philip. Shocked, she calls her mother to share everything. Her mother admits that Claudia believes in dark magic but insists she would never harm anyone. Suddenly, Claudia appears and Simmi quickly ends the call. Strange thoughts swirl in Simmi's mind, and she becomes curious about the book Claudia has been writing. She secretly checks it and is horrified. The book contains strange black magic rituals, eerie drawings, and even instructions on how to eat one's children during rituals. Simmi is terrified and now wants to leave. In the evening, she sees Claudia hitting Philip while feeding him. It all feels extremely disturbing. Not wanting to stay any longer, Simmi makes a plan. She steals the gate keys and informs Philip. Philip agrees to escape at 6 a.m. Together, they plan to leave. However, when Simmi wakes up, it's already 8 a.m. Philip is gone and the house door is open. She thinks he has left her behind. Stefan enters and asks if she wants to go back home. Simmi agrees and he tells her to pack her bags, offering to drop her off. Before leaving, Simmi messages Philip to ask where he is. In response, he sends a picture of his middle finger, making it seem like a joke. This angers Simmi, and she starts believing Claudia was right about Philip all along. Simmi changes her mind and decides to stay until Easter. Claudia is pleased, knowing Simmi has obeyed her and stayed hungry for days. Easter Day arrives. Claudia and her husband prepare food. A table is set outside with candles. Claudia serves meat, and this time all three, Claudia, Stefan, and Simmi, eat. After many days, Simmi finds the food delicious. That night, Simmi can't sleep. Her eyes fall under the bed where she finds Philip's knife, the one he always kept. Feeling uneasy, she checks the photo Philip had sent earlier. Upon zooming in, she notices it's a picture of the farmhouse, where a hammer is clearly visible. It's the same place she has seen before. She suspects Philip might be hiding there. She goes to the farmhouse and calls for Philip. Her suspicion proves correct. She finds Philip, but he is dead with half his body cut. The meat they had eaten that night, including Simmi, was actually from Philip. This realization shatters Simmi, and she begins to panic. Stefan arrives and tries to calm her, saying it's not a big deal and offers to take her home. He assures her that soon she will forget everything. This reveals he is complicit in Claudia's actions. Simmi still holds Philip's knife. She stabs him and escapes. He chases her with a gun, yelling to Claudia that Simmi is escaping. Simmi runs into the forest, crying. Claudia follows, trying to explain. Simmi reaches the same hut she saw earlier, the one with the bag of gasoline. Claudia tries to trick her into trusting her again, but Simmi pours the gasoline on her and sets her on fire. Simmi then runs to her car, where Stefan lies injured and writhing in pain. He begs Simmi to take the gun and kill him. Simmi refuses. She wants him to suffer and believes he deserves it. In the end, it is revealed that Claudia worshipped dark forces. She belonged to a cult that practices a ritual of eating their own children. Claudia believed her son will now live forever because, by eating him, he has become part of their bodies. This story shows how dangerous blind belief can be. It can drive people to horrifying actions. And ultimately, evil deeds always bring evil consequences, just like what happens to Claudia and Stefan. With this, the story ends. I hope you liked my video. If you did, please like and share it. And if you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe. We keep bringing such content regularly. Peace.